I'm Kira.
I'm Nene.
And I'm Shannon, and this is our reflection in our Semester 1 International Finance class. Since March, we have studied the foreign exchange market and topics relating to technical analysis, forecasting, trading, foreign exposure, and management.
In this presentation, we'll each reflect on our experiences and gains, as well as discussing the way that International Finance class will help us in the future, and relating this back to the Senior Financial Assistant role for Nike.
This video will be broken up into 3 separate reflective pieces, beginning with myself. We hope you enjoy the journey of our personal development and growth within the foreign exchange market. What would the roles and responsibilities of a senior finance analyst at a brand as worldwide as Nike involve? The roles of a financial manager in any company is to be aware and have an in-depth knowledge of exchange rates, as well as an acute awareness of both financial and non-financial variables that would impact exchange rates across the world, for example, interest rates and political events respectively. For a senior financial analyst role specific to Nike, this would involve having a broad awareness of over 40 currencies directly related to your supply chain, affecting the cost of your product and then the impact that would have on 160 countries and currencies. Especially since the current political climate of some of these developing countries may not be affecting their exchange rates, but also the banks and factories, i.e. riots in Indonesia. Indonesia and China are 2 of the top 5 countries which make up majority of Nike's apparel manufacturing. In addition, the brewing trade wars that the US is looking to face with some of its major trading partners, notably China and even Canada, will impact the prices of these goods through tariffs being imposed by both governments, and may even have a big enough impact on the demand for the respective currencies that it will influence the exchange rate. Being the largest sportswear retailer in the world, the foreign exchange forecasting would be vital to business planning and development, as senior financial analysts would also need to be aware of the impact that foreign currencies would make. For example, trying to determine where and when to open new stores. As per the job description, participation in execution of Nike's hedging strategy is one of the key roles of the job, and monitoring the effects of the foreign market exchange on profitability. In such a large organisation, with incredibly significant levels of profit and revenue in many different countries, it is important to be monitoring when the best possible time to make the exchange between foreign and domestic currency. In this case, the USD is the domestic currency, as Nike is headquartered in the US. The impact that this could then have on the profitability of the company. Picking the wrong exchange rate to move may lose a company up to this size millions of dollars. Our first assignment, being the initial market view, gave us an opportunity to anticipate the foreign exchange market movements as how traders would, or financial managers would need to do in business. As we did in our first report, financial managers and analysts would have to monitor the market to best develop a hedging strategy to minimise risk of being exposed to the fluctuating foreign exchange market. By having multiple dealing sessions over a couple of weeks, we learn how to react to changes in the market that we may not have anticipated, as we would have to do in the real world as well. The report allowed us to work on how to be succinct when communicating our expectations, as would need to be in business. From experience, many times when communicating to senior managers, it's important to focus on the main key impact points. By being given a low word count in our reports, we had to focus by looking at the most important data and events that would impact the exchange rates and influence our final decisions, and reporting them concisely. The regression models allowed us to see the different impacts that different variables would have on the 4 exchange rates that we studied. This means that any sudden changes in these variables would be much easier to analyse the outcome. For example, if there was predicted to be a change in the interest rate and a high coefficient with that variable in the regression model, it would allow us to know just how much of an impact that would have and make any necessary trades. Not only would traders use this, but it would also be something that any financial manager for international corporations would want to have the knowledge and be able to utilise. And I think by including it in our last 2 reports, it gave us the stepping stones to be able to understand the model. Done. I will now be handing over to Nene, who will be presenting her personal reflection.
Thank you, Kira. Throughout the 3 trading reports, we have learned how to read currency pairings, identify arbitrage opportunities, and also readjust our portfolio to ensure that we can generate a profit for our clients. I believe that the knowledge that I've been able to gain through the use of Econ has allowed me to interpret data better, and will also allow me to make better decisions for my clients moving forward. Even if I don't utilize these skills through other currency exchange periods, I believe that the use of econ will allow me to further my career. All of these skills have enhanced my desire to continue learning about the FX market and have also stimulated my knowledge, such as in the Nike position, which we can obviously see that we've used all the skills to write our reports in. In a general sense, the role of a financial analyst revolves around forecasting, estimating, and predicting the movement of the market to ensure that we can make better financial decisions for a company. Ideally, they will also have an understanding of the economy, both in the micro sense, which relates to the general economy, and also the micro sense, which relates to the general industry that the company is in, as well as political conditions. All of these fluctuations have an impact on the exchange rate, the demand and supply of the currency, exports and imports, and hence an overall impact of the FX market. Nike is currently advertising a role within the finance team, specifically that of the senior finance assistant. The finance analysis will also be responsible for reporting to management regarding the FX trading behavior and any strategies moving forward for Nike. When considering the reports that we have constructed, I can confidently say that my communication and teamwork skills have improved due to the work ethic and encouragement of my fellow team members. Furthermore, I'm now more poised in my attempt to forecast, predict, and analyze the FS market. In relation to technical analysis, I believe that my interpretation of economic and political events have also broadened, and I can now reflect upon these events and how they impact the greater FS market. This is a skill which we had to exercise through the workings of all of our reports, and is something which is clearly desirable to fellow employees, just like it is for Nike. I'd like to pass over to Shannon, who will give you her personal reflection.
Thank you, Nana. Throughout the course, we have gained significant skills to analysing real-time factors that affect the supply and demand in the foreign exchange market. We have further extended our expertise in forecasting and modelling foreign exchange rates in real time and then interpreting and communicating changes in the foreign exchange rates. Whilst moving into the workforce, this course, particularly the written reports, have gained me an in-depth understanding of the FX market, the systems used within the industry, and the immediate effect factors within the economy have on exchange rates and therefore investments and portfolios. It has given me an insight in the financial industry and allowed me to gain a professional awareness by giving me a thorough understanding of the importance and impact of forecasting and the effects on a portfolio, specifically due to the importance of being constantly aware of multiple economies and political changes around the world that may impact a currency. In addition, as the reports throughout the course were to be submitted with the most relevant information, it has given me an insight of the responsibility held by financial advisors within the sector. For example, it is imperative that advisors are up to date all the time with factors such as political changes, interest rates, and economic growth to be able to forecast and then model the most profitable portfolio according to specific objectives of a company or client. Furthermore, the written reports within the course have helped me develop as a professional through improving my level of communication skills. Each report required an in-depth understanding of all concepts and then a further analysis of the effects of the foreign exchange. This has helped me communicate to industry professionals my level of understanding of the foreign exchange and the justifications behind my forecasting. And finally, the reports required a high level of teamwork from analysing, forecasting, modelling and reporting. As our group had excellent communication, the level of quality teamwork has shown in our reports and thus gave me a strong awareness of the importance communication and teamwork skills have upon completing an objective. Overall, this course and written reports have been a positive experience and have helped me gain important skills as well as further developing my professional knowledge, awareness and responsibilities when entering the workforce. Thank you for taking the time and listening to our presentation.